Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vridhanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Sankirtan ki, Kirtana Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Navina Prabhupada ki, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 23rd chapter. March Pritu is going back home. Text number 16. Kanya kase dravam toye. Kanya kase dravam toye. Yatastanam vibhagashaha. Yatastanam vibhagashaha. Shitim ambasita tejasi. Shitim ambasita tejasi. Adova yau navasyamum. Adova yau navasyamum. Kyanya kashe dravantoye. Tastanam vibhagashaha. Chitim ambasita tejasi. Adova yau navasyamum. Tastanam vibhagashaha. Chitim ambasita tejasi. Adyao nabasyamum. Kanyakashe dravantoye. Yatastanam vibhagashaha. Tim ambasita tejasi. Dovayo nabasyamum. Tastanam vibhagashaha. Chitim ambasita tejasi. Adovayo nabasyamum. Kani, the different holes in the body for the sense organs. Akashe, in the sky. Dravam, the liquid substance. Toye, in the water. Yatasthanam, according to proper situation. Vibhagashaha, as they are divided. Kshitim, earth. Ambasi, in the water. Tat, that. Tejasi, in the fire. Adaha, the fire. Vayo, in the air. Nabhasi, in the sky. Amum, that. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this way, according to the different positions of the various parts of the body, Prithu Maharaj merged the holes of his senses with the sky. His bodily liquids, such as blood and various secretions, with the totality of water. And he merged earth with water. Then water with fire, fire with air, air with sky, and so on. Purport. In this verse, two words are very important. Yatasthanam vibhagashaha. In this Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 5th chapter, Lord Brahma clearly explained to Narada how the creation took place. And he explained one step after another the proper divisions of the senses, the controller of the senses, the objects of the senses, and the material elements. And he also explained how they are created one after another. The air from the sky, the fire from the air, the water from the fire, the earth from the water, etc. It is important to know thoroughly the process of creation as it applies to this cosmic manifestation. Similarly, this body is also created according to the same process by the Supreme Lord. The personality of Godhead, after entering the universe, creates the cosmic manifestations, one after another. Similarly, the living entity, after entering a womb of a mother, also collects his gross and subtle bodies, taking ingredients from the totality of sky, air, fire, water, and earth. The words Yatasthanam Vibhagashaha indicate that one should know the process of creation and should meditate upon the creative process inversely, and thus become free from material contamination. Kanya kashe dravantoye yatasthanam vibhagashaha kshitim ambasita tejasi adovayo nabasyamum. In this way, according to the different positions of the various parts of the body, Prithu Maharaj merged the holes of his senses with the sky, his bodily liquids such as blood and various secretions with the totality of water, and he merged earth with water, then water with fire, fire with air, air with sky, and so on. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yat Kripadam Aham Vande Sri Gurudinataranam Paramanandam Adamam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, here we see how Prithu Maharaj is reversing the process. Whatever happened at creation, when there's dissolution or when there is the retraction from the material world, then the reverse order will take place. In the yogic system, this is a mechanical process and it is very technical, a little scientific. So we're not going to get into details because it's not our speciality, our forte. But suffice to say that any situation that you get into, you have to know how to get out of it. Don't start something you can't finish. Don't get into a situation without meditating. Okay, so how am I going to get out of this? Just like Varnashram is very scientific. So you start out with student life, then you enter household life, but then Panchashordvam Vanam Vrajet, then you exit house, or you transition from household life to retired life, and then to renounced life. So it's a scientific process. Yet, because we're not scientific and we're not very thorough, so we get into a lot of situations and we don't really know how to handle them later on. We think, oh, this looks nice, this looks appealing, let me try this out. And sooner than later, we're head over heels, absorbed in gross and subtle matter, and we don't really have any idea of how we will ever be able to get out of this one. So the Bhagavatam is showing us what is the proper attitude. First of all, we should have Sambandha Gyan. We should understand our identity, the reality of this world. Now, we have not read the disclaimer. You know, there's the fine print always, like there's the nice advertisement. Here there's a lot, in Surinam there's a lot of advertisement for alcohol. And then at the bottom there's a small disclaimer. Okay, drink responsibly. Or, this might kill you. Now they say, before, you know, they said, this might be injurious to your health. Now, they actually say, at least on the packs of cigarettes, this will kill you. But people don't read the small print. Not because they're illiterate, but because they're ignorant. It's not that the Nazis were not thinking, but they were thinking in the wrong way. So people are thinking, but in the wrong way. They're thinking, how can I pull the whole world through my senses and try to enjoy anything and everything that comes my way? What I haven't tasted yet. Well, have you tasted cyanide? Have you tasted cyanide? Has anyone tasted it? Well, no one lived to tell the tale. So this whole idea of let me go everywhere and do everything is not a very refined, is not a very evolved mindset. So we are here in the material world, and how can we extricate ourselves? We have to understand how we got here. What was the mindset that caused us to get here? And if we reverse that order, then we can also get out. Just like we came into this world through the glance of Mahavishnu, which is, you know, Sadashiva. We got injected into this world. So you can say Advaitacharya, he is the gatekeeper. He's the agent through which we came into this world. And he's also, you know, gatekeeper. You get in and you get out. It's the same person. You have to go past the same person. So you better have a good relationship with Advaitacharya. Then there is hope. There is a possibility of getting out. Otherwise, Durga. Durgama. What makes going difficult? There's a fortress. It's a prison. In a similar way, this body is a fortress, it's a prison, and we're looking out from the eyes. Oftentimes, Hare Krishna, we meet people who say, oh, I've been in jail, or I have to go to jail. And then I tell them, look around you, everyone's in jail, you know, like there's nothing special about you. Or you meet people, they got notice from doctor, oh, you're going to die in 3 months. I tell them, everyone's terminal. Everyone's dying. You just don't know because you haven't found the expiration date, you know, on the packaging. You might meet people who say, yeah, but I'm in trouble, you know. I'm addicted to this, I'm addicted to that. And we tell them, everyone in this world is an addict. Why? Because we're small. We're teeny. Tiny, teeny. Jiva. And because of our minuteness, we want to be with something big. We want to be with something that gives us enjoyment. And that gets us in trouble time and time again. Unless we repose our affection, our attraction, our love, our dedication, our aspiration in the Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that will be the safe, the most secure position where we can repose our attention, our attraction. But unfortunately, even though we have so much information and so much guidance and so many good examples, we are obstinate, you know, obstinado, como un perro, like a dog, you know, who doesn't want to move, and the owner is pulling him by the leash. Not seen so many dogs here. A few in people's homes, but not so many. Like Guyana, full of dogs. Trinidad, full of dogs. So, and they're obstinate. They are very territorial. They think that they have a certain sense of control, and with that they will exercise their enjoyment. Yet we can see how it is futile. It is very short-lived. So instead of getting into the nitty-gritty and trying to figure out how can I possibly extricate myself from this mess, this predicament, how can I get out of this pickle, we should take shelter of Advaita Charya, which means taking shelter of the Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he called for Lord Chaitanya. He was calling out, Hunkar. He was calling out very loudly. Mahaprabhu said, Nada, you have woken me up. I was sleeping peacefully. And you woke me up. And you said, come here, or else I will destroy the whole universe. Because everyone is engaged in terrible activities. So either you come and you give them your mercy, or I will just close shop. I will just finish them all up. So Lord Chaitanya appeared, answering the call of his devotee, Advaita Charya. And in a similar way, if we want to get out, we have to appeal to Advaita Charya. Now, how do you appeal to him? How do you appeal to Advaita Charya? He is a very exalted personality. By taking up his mood and mission, by imbibing his mood, his spirit. Advaita Charya did not like that Lord Chaitanya showed him respect. He did not like that Advaita Charya would treat him like a senior and would worship him and glorify him. So, in order to change that dynamic, one time he started preaching the Yoga Vasishta. What is the Yoga Vasishta? It's Mayavad, it's impersonalism. And he was preaching that, and when Lord Chaitanya heard of that, he was informed that Advaita Charya is preaching. You can come over to this side, because I can't see around corners. And then he came in great haste, and he was furious. And he pulled Advaita Charya down from the asana, and he was beating him. And Sita Thakurani said, don't kill him. He's a Brahmin. He's an old man. Don't kill him. And Advaita Charya was laughing and laughing and laughing. And he was saying, now you see, what with all this respect and all this worship and all this great eulogies, now finally you have shown your true nature as the all-merciful Lord, because you have punished me and you have accepted me as your servant. So, These are the loving exchanges between the Lord and His devotees. And sometimes they're not so easily understandable because we're stuck on a mundane platform and mostly people believe in what they can see, right? Can you see the wind? No. Can you see love? No. So many things you can't see, but still, they're a reality. So this whole idea of if God doesn't appear in front of me and dance for me, then He doesn't exist. Well, that's not a very good argument. It's not a very good logic, to say the least. But because people are not very philosophical, so they're not really trying to come up with something very evolved. So, when we study Srila Prabhupada's books, we get a very clear idea of what is the mood and mission of our sampradaya. We get a very clear idea of what it is that Srila Prabhupada wanted us to do. That's why it's so important that we daily read Prabhupada's books. Otherwise, we may become a little confused and we may think, well, I'm just here for feeling less terrible, or I'm here for salvation, or I'm here to, well, I don't know, it beats working, but then you don't realize that actually bhakti means being fully absorbed, being completely engaged in Krishna's service. I'm just reading Nectar Devotion, and there's all these beautiful quotes by Rupa Goswami from the different... Rupa Goswami has collected all these gems, all these wonderful verses from the Bhagavatam, from all the scriptures, elucidating, highlighting the beauty of devotional service. He was saying that there was once a Brahmin who was very poor, but he understood that this is just part of my situation, and he just accepted it. Tenu kampam susamikshamana bunjana evatma kritam vipakam ridvagva bubir vidadan namaste jiveti yo mukti pade sadaya bak. As 10:14:8. You know 10:14:8? If you want to get a tattoo, 10:14:8. Okay? That's this verse. So, which says that a devotee who accepts his situation, his predicament, his suffering, whatever mishap, as a small token of Krishna's mercy to get rid of the last vestiges of his attachment and of his prarabdha karma, of his attachment to this world, and to whatever sinful reaction might still be there. A devotee who patiently endures that, knowing fully well that the Lord is all merciful and He will give me His mercy. Such a devotee, liberation becomes his rightful claim. Krishna becomes his property. Krishna says that Nishkinchanasya Bhagavat Bhajanon Mukasya. Krishna says, I become the property of somebody who doesn't claim proprietorship in this world. As long as you think, this is mine. You're claiming proprietorship. Now you may have a lot of possessions, but if you don't claim proprietorship, you use everything in Krishna's service, then that's ideal. But unfortunately, even the beggar is proud of his penny. Have you noticed? How even poor people, they're very attached. I had one man the other day. He had very poor dress, and he was in a very poor situation. And he opened his wallet, and he said, but I have to pay the gas bill. I have to pay electricity. I have to pay this. I have to pay that. But somehow, he managed to hand over the smallest bill that he could find. If he would have had coins, he would have given coins. But he managed to give something, which is to his eternal credit, to his eternal benefit. So, that Brahmin, he was very poor. Yet, he heard in a discourse, because he was regularly attending discourses in Bhagavatam. He was regularly seeking out Harikatha. And there he heard that devotional service is so powerful that you can engage in it, not on your phone. Don't get distracted by your phone. Haribo. No phone action while class is going on. Oh, you're looking up the verse. Okay. You can do that later, because otherwise you lose the track, because very few people can multitask. Unless you're a mom with 3 babies, then you're forced to multitask, because you have to keep everyone alive. like the little, artist in the circus, who keeps all those little plates on the sticks, and he has to move around and keep them all moving so they don't fall down. So if you're an artist in a circus or a mom with 3 kids, then you're allowed to multitask. But for the rest of us, ekanta bhakti, single focus on one activity. So he heard that bhakti is so powerful that even if you do it in your mind, then Krishna will accept it. So he used to go to Godavari, holy river, and take bath, and he would meditate. He would meditate on how he's taking bath also in Ganges, in Yamuna, in all the holy places. And then in his mind he would do elaborate worship, like a king would do, like on beautiful altars of gold and silver with jewels, and he would decorate everything lavishly with flowers and ornaments. And he would sing and dance in front of the deities. He would cook fine foods. And so that was his meditation. All in the mind while he was sitting there. Savaimana Krishna Padaravindayor Vachansi Vaikunta Gunanuvarne. Just like Ambarish Maharaj, he was going through all the different processes of devotional service. So this Brahmin was doing all of that in his mind. So one day he was cooking sweet rice, and paramanna or kheer, sweet rice is the best when it's cold. But he was not sure because he had just cooked it in his mind. So he wanted to test. So he touched the pot and he burned his finger. And Vishnu in Vaikuntha, he chuckled. And all the Lakshmis were like, "What are you laughing about?" That's where this comes from. What are you laughing about? And Vishnu didn't explain himself. He had a Vaikuntha airplane bring that Brahmin. And then everything was revealed why he was chuckling. So, if you want to see Krishna smile, tell him your plan. We all have plans, right? Going places, doing things. But we don't know what is Krishna's plan. Everyone has a plan till they're hit. I told you yesterday about that young devotee who got hit and then got saved by the intervention of a young doctor in training. So, yes, we should have aspirations, we should have plans for devotional service, but we should be open for guidance. Srila Prabhupada had his plan. He said he wanted to become a great businessman, but then everything failed. And he said Krishna had another plan. And oftentimes when Prabhupada quoted this verse, or sometimes people would, think, this verse of Yasyaham Anugrinami Harishit Taddanam Shanai, that when Krishna bestows his true mercy on someone, he takes everything away. He makes his material life exceedingly difficult. So he can wholeheartedly surrender to him. And one time devotees were laughing. And Prabhupada said, "Don't laugh. It is very serious. When it happens to you, you become very morose." So, Krishna is very responsive. Krishna responds to the prayers of his devotees. There's this prayer by Kunti Maharani, where she says, "Let the calamities come again and again." You know it? Huh? Yeah. What's the first word? Anyway, it'll come back to me. It's still early in the day. CPU is a little low on RAM. So, where she's saying that let calamities come again and again, because in times of calamities, Krishna was present with us in the forest when all these difficulties took place. But now we won the war and we are ruling the world, but Krishna is leaving us. He's going away. This is bad. Let the bad times come back so that Krishna will be with us at all times. So, I was praying this verse, and then guess what happened? Calamities came again and again. till I said, okay, I think I'm gonna put that one on hold for a while. I give a little rest to that verse, you know, because Krishna is too much responsive. I got enough to handle. I don't want more. I don't want more difficulty. Viparashantu takshasva tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhavadarshanam. That's the verse. So Vakunti Devi, she was wholeheartedly inviting calamities because she wanted Krishna to be there with her family. Because a devotee never wants to be separated from Krishna. Doesn't care about heavenly planets, hellish planets. Narayana praksarve nakutaschan bivyati svargapavarga narakeshu apitulyartha darshana. When Chitraketu was cursed, he came down from his airplane and he paid his dandavats to Mother Parvati, and he accepted her curse. He didn't argue. He didn't say, oh, it wasn't my fault, I was just joking. We didn't say, oh, you know, I was stating the fact. He just accepted. And he said, please forgive whatever you thought was wrong. It wasn't my intention to upset anybody. And Lord Shiva turned to Parvati and said, my dear Devi, just see. Just see the beauty. Just see the strength. You think you're beautiful? This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is amazing. So, the devotees are trying to develop these good qualities. What are they? What are the ornaments of a devotee? Not his electronics, not his big house, his big car, his big job, his big position. No. Titikshava karunika surida sarvadehinam achata satrava santa sadava sadhubhushana. When people see these qualities, they will be attracted by these qualities. Now, of course, in uncultured society, people will respect people who are loud, who are arrogant, who are abrasive, gaudy. But in cultured society, that is not appreciated. They appreciate humility, they appreciate shyness, meekness, service attitude. If they ask you, what's your job? And you put, I'm a servant. They're like, what? Servant? What is that? But did you know that, for instance, in Christianity, before someone becomes declared a saint, there are 3 different stages. First of all, just in case you wanted to become a saint, you know. First of all, you have to be dead for a certain amount of time, okay? There is no living saints. So you have to be dead before you can be declared a saint. Then you have to perform miracles. These miracles have to be witnessed and recorded by different people in different places. So you can't just have your family members or your disciples declare you a saint. It has to be legit. And the first of those 3 stages of becoming a saint, or declared a saint, is you get the title Servant of God. Now we get that when we take initiation, right? So we come to Krishna consciousness and we're bhakta. We're a new devotee. And everyone is older and everyone knows more. And we're trying to learn from everybody and serve everybody. But after a while, we become initiated. And then we have a spiritual name. And we're Das. We're the servant of Krishna. But people call us Prabhu. Master. And then after a while, we want to become Mahaprabhu. The big master. And then Punar Mushtika Baba. Again, become a mouse. So, we should engage in the Sankirtan mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and by the blessings of Advaita Charya, we will be able to traverse and reverse this process and extricate ourselves from this material world. You want to do this mechanically? Good luck. Just understanding this verse is is not so easy. How all the elements are contained in earth, and from the most gross it goes to the most subtle, so you have to reverse the order, and then it's beyond our capacity to intellectually comprehend. We can appreciate it, but to fully understand it is quite difficult. So we're very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has given us this process of Bhakti Yoga. And some people say, Bhakti, that's easy, that's simple. What about karma? What about jnana? What about yoga? What about all the fancy stuff? Well, why don't you start with the easy? If it's so easy, why don't you do that first? Why not strictly follow the easy path? That is a little difficult. That is a little difficult. Hare Krishna. So, we have this great opportunity to engage in the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by becoming a servant of God, and a servant of all living entities, by engaging in this Hare Krishna movement. So let us take this opportunity wholeheartedly and share it with whoever we meet, and that will be for our eternal benefit. And don't worry about salvation. Don't worry about how you're going to get out of this universe. Because Advaitacharya, he's got you covered. He declared that anyone who glorifies Lord Chaitanya and who exalts his qualities and who spreads his mission, he is taking care of those living entities. So, if we try to do it by our own strength, it's like the little monkey who holds on to mother monkey. You've seen sometimes in India, monkey jumping around, and his little baby hanging on to the back or to the belly. But quite often they fall off. Why? Because little baby don't have much strength, and mama is moving fast. So, another example is given of the cat and the kitten, or the tiger and the cub, that they're holding in the mouth, by the neck. There's that skin on the neck that they bite onto and hold onto in the mouth. So it looks very scary. It looks like very, very dangerous, because that mouth can kill, can finish anything very fast. Yet the little puppy is just going for the ride, and that position is safe. Why? Because it's not holding on with its own strength. It's being held by the strength of the superior power. So as long as we're trying to move in this world, and we think that I'm a mover and a shaker, you know, because I got a few keys on my keychain. I know a few people. I still have credit on my phone, and a little gas in the tank, you know, and half a bottle of sugar water in my fridge. But that doesn't qualify. That's not going to get you very far, because the material world is a big place. Okay, it's only 1/4 of the creation. 3/4 is Tripad Vibhuti and Ekpad Vibhuti. 3/4 is spiritual sky. But still, even this one universe is vast. So we're very fortunate that we have this information. We have this information that's missing in practically all the religions and spiritual traditions. How did we get here? How to get out of here? The best people can come up with is how to feel a little better, how to feel a little less rotten, how to reverse some of the bad stuff that we did. But that's not really doing it. That's not really doing it. Like if you want to evolve from 10th class prisoner to first class prisoner. Okay, you're working in the garden, you're working in the library, or in the office of the you're still in prison. What's the sign you're a prisoner? You can't leave. So as long as you can't leave, you're stuck. You're stuck. Doesn't matter whether you're stuck in a nice place or in a not so nice place, you're stuck. So devotees are simply interested in engaging in devotional service. And that means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. Iti Pungsarpita Vishnu, Bhaktischenda Valakshana. Kriyeta Bhagavati Yada, Tan Man. What's the last line? Uttama, yeah, but there's one or two words. Tatmanye ditam uttamam. Something like that. Yeah. So, this is what we're here for. Questions, comments, or reflections? Yes, Sadhu.
I missed that part. You said we don't get into Varnashram Dharma because it's difficult to get out.
No. I didn't say. That's your mind. The Golden Mountain. Difficult to get out of. And Varnashram were two separate topics. And you merged them. The example that I gave about Varnashram Dharma, I said how scientific the Vedic system is. That there is a progression. It's a progressive path. Sometimes people think, I join and I'm a brahmachari. And that's the top of the food chain, right? Because that's where I am. So I'm the best, so my ashram is the best. So I start on top. And then, when they realize that, oh, this is getting a little exceedingly difficult, to be a lifelong celibate, then you fall down to Grihastha ashram. And then when you fail at Grihastha ashram, then you become a Vanaprastha. And if you're useless for anything, then you become a renunciate. But that's not really Varnashram, right? But sometimes people take it as such. No, it's a progressive path. You have student life, household life, retired life, and renounced life. And as you get into an ashram, there is a ceremony and there is a procedure how to get into an ashram. There's also a ceremony and a procedure how to get out of an ashram, or how to transition into the next ashram. And so it's very scientific. So Varnashram has that inbuilt in the system. It's not that you can say, okay, I'm a this and that's it, and because I am, you fill in the blank, because I'm a Shudra, and so I just have to enjoy. No, Shudras, they're the servants of society. They're obedient, they're clean as much as possible, they're honest, they don't lie, they don't steal. So they have many good qualities. But we always take the license. We always take, oh, okay, now I can do this and this and this and this and this. But the point you were making, no, Varnashram is a progressive path. So as you get into the ashrams, you also aware that there will be a time, pretty soon, where I will get out of this ashram and transition into the next phase. Except if you're by nature just a Shudra, then there's only one ashram. It's Grihastha. Everything else is not working. But even there, when one transitions, because even they have to go to school and learn things and get their economy together before they can get married. And even they, at some point, the children are grown up and they have more time, so they can, do more seva, do more devotional things. So it's a very well thought out system, because it comes from Krishna. So yeah, there's a way of getting out. But that is not by saying the system doesn't work or by rejecting the system. It is by actually recognizing my propensity, my situation, my conditioning, and taking Krishna's and the Vaishnava's guidance and advice, and thus move safely from one position to the next. Just like a caterpillar, when it moves from leaf to leaf, it doesn't just jump, like a monkey. But once it's firmly established on one leaf, then it lets go of the other leaf and it moves in the next. It's transition. Sandhya. And you win or lose a race in transition. Have you ever seen? Win or lose a race in transition. You have seen when they do? Whether it be motor cars or whatever. A relay race, they hand the stick, they hand the baton. So you win or lose a race in transition. And in a similar way, in these sandhyas, in these transitions, a lot can go wrong. And because we are not that well versed and that evolved and educated, so there's a lot of room for error in these transitions. That's why we should take special care and guidance and not rush into, oh, I need to be at this or I need to go do that. First, get guidance. Get guidance. Take counsel. Other points? Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hare Hare Bo. So thank you all for your kind hospitality, patience, tolerance, and service attitude, and especially good example of what a humble Vaishnava is. So, thank you very much. It was a true pleasure to be here. Hare Krishna. All goes well. Hare Krishna.